This is something I haven't actually shared anywhere before, but last year, our online business almost came to a screeching halt because we severely messed up when it comes to our paid advertising. Let me explain. So I've been using paid advertising for as long as I can remember, turning every dollar spent in advertising into $2, $3 or more back out again in sales within a 30-day period. And initially, way back in the day, 2008, 2009, when I first got started, I was doing that with solo ads, which is typically when you ask somebody with an email list, hey, can you promote my stuff for a set fee? Yes, that's great. I'll do it for you. Here you go. And you just pocket the sales and that's great. But over time, that started to become a little bit saturated and my results went down over time. So I thought, okay, let's look for a new advertising platform, and Facebook ads arrived, right? And it was about 6 months after they started that advertising platform. So it was still in its very early stages, the very infancy of the platform. And you could do pretty much anything you wanted to. Like if you wanted to, just promote an affiliate link, that was great. They would let you do that. If you wanted to promote something which was not really compliant to today's standards at least, then they would let you do it because there wasn't as strict policies in place, right? They didn't have all of these review teams in place and like an automated system to deny your ads before they even start running. It was pretty much like you could do whatever you wanted within reason unless it was illegal, right? So that was incredible. People were making bank with affiliate offers. You could just, find a profitable affiliate offer on ClickBank or some other network and plug that into Facebook ads and make a whole bunch of sales, and that was great, right? It wasn't recommended because you weren't building your own audience, but it's something people were doing to make a lot of money back then. But then, with so many people doing this and taking advantage of that, the users started to dislike it, right? They started to feel like it was just a spammy platform and the ads they were seeing weren't really relevant to them, or like it just wasn't a happy experience for them, So they started using Facebook a little bit less, and that's when Facebook took notice and they started to introduce more strict policies, right? So you could no longer make, superfluous claims or over-exaggerated claims and stuff, and you had to really watch what you were saying. And then they introduced the automated systems which would flag your account for certain things based on intelligence, right? Based on the brain of Facebook, the big algorithm, this huge brain in the cloud which just has all of these millions of data points, right? So then over time it became more and more difficult to advertise on Facebook, but the people who were advertising successfully put more and more ad spend into their campaigns. So CPM prices, or in other words traffic prices, the amount you pay for your advertising, went up and up and up, right? And now we're at the stage where advertising is kind of really expensive, but it works kind of well if you know what you're doing, and you can start to see those two times ROIs, and double your money that you spend in ads and so on within 30 days or so. Not so much the 5 times ROIs we used to see, but still a very good ROI which you can then use to upgrade your customers into higher priced offers and so on to increase the ROI. Anyway, so one big mistake we made was relying way too much on that advertising platform. Okay, so I'm a big paid ads guy. I love paid advertising, specifically Facebook ads, because they've always been incredible at getting us good results. We put a lot of our advertising dollars into Facebook ads every single month. But the thing is, in the past, when our campaigns, we were spending about $1,000 a day or so, and at that point, our account got shut down. All right. And at the time, our ads had been running for like 6 months or more. The exact same ad copy, everything was exactly the same. It's not like we introduced something, on the edge of a gray area or like a black hat strategy or anything like that. We were just using the exact same ads we'd always used, which were always fine with Facebook. And they shut our account down, right? So we were like, oh crap, like what do we do? This is our main traffic strategy. And although we get traffic from YouTube and social media and stuff, we really prefer to use Facebook ads because it's predictable and it's scalable, and it really it has a great connection with how much money you spend. So if you spend $1,000 in a day, with what we do, we know our metrics, we know that our stuff is profitable. So if we spend $1,000 in a day, we can expect at least $2,000 back again within 14 to 30 days, depending on the market we're targeting, right? Minimum. So with us, it was great. And back then it was like, what do? We no longer have a primary traffic strategy, and when you turn off the faucet, the water stops coming out, right? It's the same thing with advertising. If you turn off your ads, you no longer make sales anymore. And when you have a bunch of overheads, it's like, oh crap. And then, this was at the peak of COVID as well. So, last year, the other peak of COVID, there's been so many I forgot, but it wasn't the one in 2020, it was the one in 2021 when there was all these variants coming out, and we had a few clients cancel at the same time because they were worried about their health and stuff, and they had other emergencies in their family and whatever else. So we had that happening as well. So it was like, what do we do, right? And this actually happened a few times. We actually created a bunch of new ad accounts. We put the same ads back online, and we ended up just having the same ads there, and they got shut down as well. And we were thinking, what the heck is going on? So we changed our business model to helping coaches and consultants to get more clients, thinking that would be more compliant with the Facebook ads, increased regulatory rules or whatever else they introduced without telling us, because they never tell you this stuff, right? It's just like, oh, by the way, this is no longer okay, and we're not going to tell you about it in our terms of service, right? So we started doing that stuff, and that was okay. We made a bit of profit, but it just wasn't really us. And we changed our entire business model based upon whether it would be approved with Facebook ads. And now I realize that was not the right thing to do, because Facebook is only one of many different traffic networks. But the lesson I learned, which I want to share with you guys and girls watching this or listening to this right now, is do not rely on just one traffic strategy or one traffic source. And if you do, don't make it a paid traffic source, okay? Because that could go overnight, okay? What you want to do is, yes, start out with a recommended traffic strategy that we recommend in our coaching programs, our courses and stuff like that. But after you've got that working well, don't just stick with it. Also, in addition to that primary traffic strategy, introduce a secondary traffic source as well. And that could be a paid advertising strategy, or preferably an organic or free traffic strategy which complements your main advertising strategy. Okay, I'll kind of elaborate on this a little bit, what I mean. So I'll give you some examples as well. So of course we're using Facebook ads, right? Now, we already have an established audience on Facebook because we've been using Facebook ads for so long. People see our ads, they follow our page, and we built up a bit of a following on there. Roughly 10,000 people, about 15,000 people between two pages, right? So we have an audience on there of people who've kind of liked our pages and followed our stuff. And whenever we post an organic post on there, it doesn't get maximum reach because that's not how social networks work nowadays, apart from TikTok, which I'll get to in a second. But we have an audience on there at least. So we were just for so long neglecting the organic stuff, thinking, yeah, it's a waste of time. I'm just, it's sweat equity. You're spending so much time and effort on this content, on this free stuff, and you're just putting it out there, and the results are far less than paid advertising. But what I failed to realize at the time, this is an important lesson for you guys and girls as well, is the compounding effect of organic traffic strategies. Okay, so when you post so often, again and again and again, consistently every single day, hopefully, then you build up an audience on that platform, but also you nurture the prospects as well. So the prospects who see your content every single day or however often you post will see your ads, and they're much more likely to go through and purchase your stuff after going through that nurturing process first, right? Now, a lot of ad agencies preach this stuff, and they kind of pay money for people to watch your stuff first and then give the call to action with a retargeting ad, but that has never worked well for us. I don't know why people recommend it, especially for businesses with low budgets when they're getting started. We never recommend that to our clients, but it's something people recommend, and that's never been successful for us. What we do instead is we post now, at least, we've kind of moved over to organic strategies as well as paid advertising. We've learned our lesson. We've got our account back. Woohoo! We've had a few contacts at Facebook to get our account back, and we've changed our messaging very slightly to abide by their new rules and wording and stuff like that. They hate anything that says like online business or make money online, and you can't use income figures and stuff. So we've changed our ads to match that, but we've also been using organic traffic strategies a lot more as well. So To list a few here, TikTok is incredible. It is not just a platform for dancing teenagers. It is a platform nowadays where everyone's joining it, and the bar is set so low compared to Facebook advertising and also Facebook organic stuff as well, that you can post a video and get like hundreds or thousands of views very quickly. If you look at our YouTube views, they're not actually very high because we send our videos to our email list and other places as well. That's not our main primary traffic strategy. But on TikTok, we take snippets from these YouTube videos and we post them, less than a minute or so every day, sometimes multiple times a day, different snippets, of course, not the same video. And we get like 600 views minimum at the time of recording this video. And our views are going up every single week, minimum, so 600 views every single time. So that's six times the views we get on YouTube, and we can do this more often. YouTube, we do this once a week. So TikTok, we do it every single day. So it's a massively increased amount of traffic compared to what we'd get through other traffic strategies as well. Now, I just mentioned YouTube. We do YouTube. You're watching it now or listening to it. If you're listening to it, you can find us on YouTube as well. So we actually have the visuals there as well as the audio, me talking to the camera and stuff. But that's one of our big ones as well. And also Instagram, we're trying to use a lot more as well, specifically Instagram Reels. So it's literally about content repurposing, if you want to give it a name. It's like we create some content for YouTube, then we put that out onto TikTok. We find a small section of that video which would make sense to stand alone with. If somebody was to watch that snippet of content, it would still make sense to them, even if they had no idea who we were. We put that on TikTok, and then we shorten that down even further for Instagram Reels, because they have a 1 minute limit on the time of a clip. So then we have that on Facebook as well. So we're kind of using this little funnel approach. The longest part, the longest video at the top, which goes on YouTube, then we snip it down to TikTok, then we snip it down to Instagram Reels and Facebook as well. So that's the organic strategy that we're using, and it's working really, really well for us. And honestly, if I had any regret in my business, if you were to put a gun to my head and say, James, tell me the biggest regret in your business, I'd say definitely not using organic marketing strategies a lot sooner. Like, I've been around for 14 years now, 14 years. And although we've, released a lot of YouTube videos, I haven't really taken it that seriously. But now we're in a process of like ramping this stuff up a lot more in terms of our content production on these other platforms as well as YouTube, and we're going to be using that as an additional strategy to kind of use as a baseline of traffic. And even if our ads account gets shut down again, we're no longer going to be scrambling to get traffic anymore, because we at least have this consistent flow of organic traffic methods coming in as well. So the biggest lesson I want you to take away from this episode is do not rely solely on one traffic strategy. One is a very dangerous number when it comes to traffic. So instead, you want to, yes, set up one traffic strategy to begin with, make it profitable, then introduce a secondary traffic source, and preferably that should be an organic or free traffic method, preferably social media or something similar, right? That way you'll have a baseline of traffic, but also these peaks and troughs with paid advertising as well, and your business will be infinitely more profitable without having to worry, or struggling to sleep at night about if somebody shuts your account down, right? Hopefully this has helped you. If you found it valuable, go ahead and give it a like, and also hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great one.